Thanks. Well, let me see. Hold up. In case we don't, I got, oh, it's hard to see. I got patriotic Yoda here. I mean, we'll have the flag without Yoda.
I can do the pledge.
Okay.
Clarence.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
Liz, can you hear me? Hello?
Yay! We made it. Can you hear us?
Well, that's
Jason?
funny.
Hi.
I'm having to go on my phone.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, well, hello. There you're in your car.
I'm in my this is my mobile office. It's different.
Gotcha.
At least you're not like sitting in the ballpark at the Giants game.
How do you know that? Well, I would be in the
Well,
game.
about that.
Wearing blue. I don't know about that.
Yeah, really.
That's true. Well, it's
Well, hold
this
up.
is
Yeah,
official.
No, but
That's
I'm
the
not
swag.
wearing
Like,
blue.
right,
It's official.
I got my with the city swag too.
Yeah, that's official gear.
Yeah.
City gear.
Oh, right.
So I'm going to turn off my tablet and, well, we'll go by phone then.
Sounds good.
Parents, I think we have everyone accounted for.
Great. Excellent, Liz. So yeah, just let me know when we're a go.
Okay, let me go ahead and check in with IT here, and I think we should be good.
Very good.
Nice jersey, Kristen.
Thank you.
Okay, Chair, we are live.
Recording in progress.
Not running it well. It's up.
Okay. All right. We are calling to order the regular Parks and Community Services Commission meeting. It's October 14, 2021. The time is 6:32. And Vice Chair Einberger, can we have the Pledge of Allegiance, please?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Hey, thank you very much. And Liz, roll call, please.
Yes. Honorary Commissioner Munn, Commissioner Griggs.
Here.
Thank you. Commissioner Cervente.
Here.
Thank you. Commissioner Margalotti.
Here.
Vice Chair Einberger.
Here,
Thank you. And Chair Mammerl.
Here.
Thank you.
I understand that Honorary Commissioner Munn has a school activity. Can we please have a motion to excuse our Honorary Commissioner?
I'll make a motion to excuse our honorary Commissioner Moon.
and I'll second it.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Okay, no opposition. The motion passes. Thank you. Next item is public comment.
Chair, we do not have any public comment at this time.
Okay, neither by email or by phone, correct?
Correct.
Great, thank you very much. Okay. Next item, are there any agenda changes? Yes, are there any agenda changes? It's hard to change the agenda when there's one thing on the agenda, so very good. So moving on to that item, business item 1, Parks and Recreation Director recruitment. City Manager Holly,
Yes,
over to you.
Chair Memorell, thank you. Hopefully you all can hear me. I had to change devices. My other device was banished from the Zoom meeting, so for some reason I'm now on the cell phone. I apologize. But yeah, so tonight's item is hold on. Can you guys still hear me?
Yes, Ken?
Great. Tonight's item relates to the vacancy that we have in the Park and Rec Director recruitment. And I, as part of the packet, you had some draft language for the brochure. I sent over earlier today our latest version of that brochure. The purpose of the brochure is really an advertising piece. We are advertising to the outside world the opportunity to come work in this position, to come work in American Canyon. And so the item tonight was a little bit of twofold. Number one, we wanted to get some feedback from all the commissioners, high-level feedback. Did we capture the essence of American Canyon and the essence of this opportunity? Did we forget anything? And then secondly, we'd like to have two of you join us on the first interview panel. The way our hiring process works is we have a professional recruiter, the one who put that brochure together, and we'll be beating the bushes for potential candidates. And I'll talk a little bit in a moment about that strategy. And then they will kind of call those lists of people who apply down to 7 or 8 candidates, hopefully. From there will be an initial interview panel. I will actually not be on that first panel. It'll be made up of some community members, folks from PCS, et cetera. And the goal is to whittle that list down to 3, hopefully, somewhere in there. And then from there, we'll be interviewing those finalists and then making a decision. And so we would like to have 2 members of PCS be on that first panel. So that's the action. But before we get to that, I wanted to talk a little bit about, this brochure. The latest version that we had today, we're really excited. We changed the photo out. It's a picture of Newell open space. And, that we described that really, that westerly view in the brochure as one of the opportunities. But we wanted to see feedback from the commission. Did we miss anything? Did we kind of get the context right? We're not necessarily looking for edits or typos or that kind of thing. We'll go through a final polishing with the consultants. After this, we expect to release this, for public sometime next week is our goal. So we'll do a final polishing of it. But we tried to capture the essence of the opportunity. We do want to be transparent about some of the things that are being worked on and some of the things for them to be thinking about as they're becoming interested in American Canyon. And again, this isn't a list of everything that's going to be on their to-do list. Much of that will come through the interview process. But we wanted to really highlight American Canyon and the opportunities and give them some context. So definitely eager for some of your feedback. As far as strategy goes, our strategy is to focus primarily on CPRS as a fertile ground for potential candidates. MMANC will also be another group. That's the Mid-Management Association of Northern California. Will be another group that we will be heavily soliciting. We'll also be, looking at your typical industry job boards and NeoGov and some other ones that the HR government professionals use. So, and we certainly want to solicit the commission. If any of you know anyone or you have other places or suggestions on where we might advertise, then please, by all means, let us do that. Here on the screen is some of the descriptions about American Canyon. We're highlighting our diversity. We're highlighting some of our outdoor amenities and our aquatic center, all these really unique things that make American Canyon American Canyon. And again, this is really an advertising piece, and we're trying to find that park and rec professional who's ready to move up or ready to move over and wants to come and lead this group. So, with that,
49, you can, why can't the 49?
sorry, I apologize for that. With that, we'll be happy to answer any questions or any comments, really, feedback.
Great. Thank you, Manager Holly. Opening up the floor for questions or feedback.
And Liz is taking notes because I'm in my car. I'm not driving, but not in a great place where I can take notes.
I guess I really like it. So that's about all I have to say. But I think it really reflects our wonderful city well.
Great, thank you.
I raised my hand, but I'll just unmute.
Yeah.
So I think it looks great. And I like the updated version because I see that you added a couple things more about Newell Open Space, which I didn't feel like was addressed enough in the first draft that you sent. And that was one of the things I was wondering. Another thing I was wondering is, I know we have a lot, and it is mentioned, of different nonprofit groups. The one that is mentioned, will they have a chance to kind of look at it or give any feedback, making sure that the mention as far as ACCPF and what's mentioned is reflective of what?
Yeah, I got off the phone with the executive director of ACCPF this afternoon, and they've taken a look at it. They think it looks really nice. So we're thinking about including them in the interview process as well. We're not exactly sure what stage or how we might actually do that, but given their prominence as far as partnerships goes, we think it would be a good idea to do that.
Okay.
So there'll be some level of involvement there too.
All right. And then another question that I have when I read this, and I may have missed it because I've been gone and I didn't get a chance to really study it. I know that there was a lot of time spent seeking grants and writing grants, and I don't see that mentioned here for the additional funding source. So if that's still something that is going to be on the plate of the director and the department.
Yeah, no, that's a really good point. It's captured in the sort of general leadership area, but no, I think that's the word grant should show up somewhere. I'll say it this way. We'll be expecting that this person be opportunistic in their view of potential funding sources. Someone who just says, okay, I need to raise taxes to fund my parks is not very creative. There are a million different other possibilities. And while future tax revenues may be part of that equation, until you can demonstrate how you've been creative with other sources, you don't have as much credibility. So
Right.
we'll expect this person to, and I definitely will be having interview questions related to this.
Yeah.
But I think stressing that this person's going to have to bring their creative funding hat to the table. Yeah, I think that's a good suggestion. We'll find out.
I wasn't sure if it was like a given because I'm not in the industry specifically, but I do know that there were a lot of things that were in the works that had potential to continue to be accessed because of having accessed it previously. So I just didn't know if that fell in or was appropriate. So I just wanted to mention that.
No, Liz will make a note of that. Good idea.
Thank you.
Okay, I'll go next. I think it's fantastic. I think it's so great to put it into a brochure and include all these pictures and really give a nice snapshot of what American Canyon is, not only where we are, but who we are, all the programs, all the opportunities that living in our community would bring to someone. I think it's a great idea. I actually like how all the compensation and benefits are really laid out so that someone can take a look at this and know immediately if this is something that they would seriously be interested in. So I think it's a great way to also get only very serious, applicants that are truly interested in this position as it's specifically laid out. So I love all of that. The only thing that I noticed that might be missing is that we talk so much about American Canyon and the nonprofits and all of the outdoors and all the things that are related to parks and play. But if we're looking at attracting someone to move to American Canyon that might not be familiar with American Canyon, we might also want to include that we're part of Napa Valley Unified School District, because that might not be known. And talk about our high school, talk about our 3 wonderful elementary schools, how Napa Junction has a brand new beautiful site, how the middle school is getting a theater, talk about our music programs, because we do have 2 wonderful music teachers. So maybe just a little something about the school that might entice someone with young children to know that this is going to be a great place to come and move and have their kids live and go to school, and they can live and work and send their kids to school all in the same location. I mean, that's the dream right there, right? So just to kind of round it out, I guess. And then just highlighting our community members and, you know, all the pride that we have in our community, you know, how that we really all love to live in American Canyon. Maybe that, maybe a little picture of that little sign, I love everyone in American Canyon.
Oh, yeah.
That little lawn sign. Because that really just shows how proud we all are and how much we all love our community and love to live here. And then the only other little thing that kind of jumped out at me that I'm not even sure if this is necessary, but on the city ethnicity pie, it shows other as 8.7%, and I don't know if where that information was gathered from. I don't know if we know what the other consists of, and if we could list those groups out, and they would just be more inclusive than saying other.
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know that we know, and I actually don't even know the source of that data, whether that's the latest census data that we're still digesting, or if actually where that came from. So it's a good question. You know, we probably, I don't know whether it's going to make sense to how many groups make up that other or not. So we'll have to take a look at that.
Yeah, it just was a question that I had, really. And I don't know how extensive you want this to be, but you can always talk about how low our crime rate is and our wonderful, you know, police and how they work under the body of the sheriff's department.
What we typically do is have people send them back to our website to really get a sense of us and get a sense of the community, because we are trying to, again, it's an advertising piece and we're not trying to overload it. So we want to send them back to, you know, to other documents. One of the things I'm thinking about is linking to our State of the City, though, because our latest State of the City publication really hits a lot of those points, and it really does tell another, you know, additional story. So those are good feedback.
Thank you. I love it. I think it's great. Thanks for.
I thought that it was really great. The brochure, once we got the updated one with the pictures, it was wonderful. I really enjoy seeing pictures of our city, and instead of getting pictures from some website. So that was wonderful. So thank you. I'm looking forward to the whole, you know, the whole, how you're gonna do the hiring, and so it looks like it'll be a nice learning opportunity. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you. Definitely appreciate all the feedback and comments. And well, I guess Clarence, maybe we hadn't heard from you.
Oh yeah, I typically go last. Thank you. So yes, to Commissioner Griggs's point, there is a lot of information about our little city floating around out there. So I think a link to the our latest city report, maybe, you know, links to other important things like our schools might be appropriate. On the other hand, yes, you don't want to overload this brochure with too much stuff. So leave that at your discretion. And regarding the city ethnicity pie, just a bit of cultural sensitivity. You know, I'm in a, you know, I'm Filipino American, and kind of lumping us in with the other Asians at 33.5%. It doesn't quite give the flavor that there are a lot of Filipinos here. So yes, and actually, you know, that cultural identity is one of those things that our particular, well, my ethnicity struggles with as a mental health issue. Like basically, there's a long history of, and I know we're not the only culture that experiences this, but there's a long history of Filipino Americans just getting lumped into other groups and not having our own, you know, not being distinctly identified. And so I think that change would be, you know, very important, just in terms of cultural sensitivity.
Sure. No, it's a very helpful feedback. We'll take another look at how we view that pie and describe it.
And that is all. That's all I have. It's a very, you know, very well done, polished brochure. Oh, and I'm sorry, one more thing. I know you're not looking for edits, but on page 3, primary it's right there in the middle. It's just spelled wrong.
Well, we'll get that corrected. Thank you for that.
Oh.
And I'm sure there's a typo or two elsewhere in there. So we'll. With the consultants, it goes through a final round of QA/QC.
Of course.
So they will tackle that.
Okay.
I pushed them to get this ready for this meeting, so they were hesitant to even commit to it. And I said, "Well, I need something for tonight, so it doesn't have to be perfect, but I need something." So they did a really great job of. We've only had them under contract for less than a week, so they were able to pull this together and get it ready for tonight.
It is excellent. So please feel free to pass along our compliments to
I will.
the Tripepi Smith.
Sure, yeah, Tripepi Smith.
Okay.
Tripepi Smith and a fellow by the name of Bob Hall actually will be kind of heading up the recruitment side of it. He's a former city manager turned recruiter now, based out of Southern California. And so we're excited to see what he can bring. They're actually doing the direct park and rec director recruitment for the city of San Bernardino right now. So you're definitely in the mix for this kind of stuff.
Very good. I guess my final question, the finished product, the final brochure, will that be forwarded to all of us on the commission? Sure. Okay. Yeah,
well, we got to find a way to get the file size down. I think 16 megs is a little bit too much to handle, but we'll see if we can get the file size down. But yeah, we will, and we do really want your help. All of the connections that you have with CPRS, and we'll be publishing it through their official channels. But all of the connections that you all have made over time with folks, and just kind of passing it around, you know, it would be really appreciated.
Great. Yeah, I will definitely pass it on to the California Commissioners, CAPR CBM, to that group.
Yeah, one of the things philosophically, we've had a lot of success in finding folks who are move ups. We're not necessarily looking for a lateral transfer. And so many of our directors right now are actually first time directors. And we've had a lot of success there when you find the right person. Lincoln Bogart, our most recent hire, our finance director, is just blowing the socks out of everything. And he's doing really well. Felix Hernandez, our maintenance utilities director, you know, was a deputy elsewhere before he came to us. So we've had a lot of success finding move ups. So I say that to say, when you're talking with folks and they maybe aren't a director somewhere else, that's not a barrier. That isn't for the right person who's got a right amount of experience and right energy and attitude. They don't have to be somewhere else a director. this is our way of trying to bring even diversity to our workforce, is to say you don't have to be, have a certain number of years of experience in a certain group. We want to use this process to dig into everybody's as a possibility, and our process will find the best candidate regardless of, necessarily the more traditional kinds of prerequisites. So communicate that when you're talking with folks.
Okay. Well said. Thank you. Definitely do that. So the second part of the business item, assigning two commissioners to serve on the initial interview panel and provide feedback. All yours.
Yeah, so we need two of you. We're expecting the close of the applications in mid-November. We'll have the holiday in there, so I don't think, my guess is the first week of December is when we'll be talking about that panel. I don't think we're going to fit it in before Thanksgiving. So, first week of December is roughly the time frame, and this will be an all-day affair most likely. Assuming we have a good amount of candidates, it should be an all-day affair. So, for the two of you who are interested and available for that kind of time commitment, we'd love to have you join us. I'm going to turn off my video because the daylight out here is
getting dark out there.
Kind of absurd.
Can I ask a question, Jason, about that? So you think that it would be a 1 day process
Correct.
for multiple days?
Where we won't know 100% until we see the candidate pool, but the most likely scenario is a single day, ideally 8, because 1 or 2 will flake on us, and one of those 6 or 7 that show up, and 45 to 50 minutes a piece. So you're talking about a 9 to 5 type, with the break and stuff in the middle, but you're talking about a 9 to 5. We haven't yet decided whether this is going to be by Zoom or in person. We're going to have to kind of figure that out soon, but we've been doing both. Certainly the final ones that I end up doing will be in person, but we may end up doing these by Zoom, mainly because, because of COVID, number one, but also it show us what they got. So I would guess that first one's going to be by Zoom. Which will make for a long day by Zoom. But
Right. Any further questions for Manager Holly? Okay, so I think the most logical way to recruit or assign 2 commissioners would be to open the floor for volunteers.
yes, that makes sense to me.
Yeah. So, are there any commissioners that would like to volunteer for the interview panel?
I'd be willing to volunteer in the hopes that I can get a sub. Because there's a sub shortage, but I could potentially get some, if I could figure out as soon as we knew the date.
Yep, we can get that pretty.
Then I could try to secure somebody, and if I have somebody secured, then it should be okay.
All right. So, Commissioner Margolotti volunteers with the substitute condition. Any
I'm
other
happy to volunteer.
Great. Okay. So we have Commissioner Griggs and Commissioner Margolotti. And seeing no one else volunteering, could we have a motion to assign Commissioner Margolotti and Commissioner Griggs to serve on the interview panel?
Yeah, I move that Commissioner Margolotti and Commissioner Griggs serve on the interview panel.
Do we have a second? Or with the amendment, and I'm sure, Liz, you'll reflect this, with the amendment regarding Commissioner Margolotti's need for a substitute on that date.
Would there be someone else willing to step in if I knew that I wasn't able to?
Oh, are we seconding or?
No, we're still at the motion, but we can add the amendments that it looks like Commissioner Cervente, you're willing to step in if Commissioner Margolotti cannot get a substitute.
I was actually gonna second, but okay, yeah, I'll if Commissioner Margolotti is unable, I'll cover for her. And okay, but I was gonna second.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, that's completely fine. Okay, so but motion with amendment is made. Motion is seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? No opposition. The motion passes.
Okay, well, thank you very much. And we'll be getting those dates out as soon as we can get things confirmed. Well, we will have some indication of the schedule in the brochure, the final brochure itself, and then we can get the dates confirmed with everybody.
Great. Thank you. So we are going to open, the next item, we'll just open up the floor for commissioner comments and future items for consideration. And no particular order, just just go ahead and go for it.
Oh, yeah. The only thing that I have is that seroptimists are currently flocking people's houses. So if you want someone's house flocked, you can go on our website or you could contact me.
Okay.
That's all I have.
Very good. Thank you. Thank you, Vice Chair.
I'll go ahead and jump in. The American Canyon Community Parks Foundation has a coffee morning this Sunday at the wetlands, 9:30, I think, to 11. I'm supposed to be there at 9. I believe it starts at 9:30, sorry. So come on down, free coffee, hot chocolate, activities for kids as well. And I felt like there was something else. Oh, an item for future consideration. I know around this time, we appoint or we ask our honorary commissioner if they want to continue for the following year. I don't know where we stand on that. I don't remember the exact timing, but I know it's in the fall. And I know that Sela is a senior and she might be willing and wanting to continue another year. I just wasn't sure when and what on that.
And Margolotti, I can comment on that real quickly. Sela has accepted to do another term with us, so that will be a future agenda item.
Great. Very good. Thank you.
I for future consideration, maybe for next month's agenda, can we get update on the Newell fire and what's the damage, at least for the trail and the hiking paths. Last time this happened 2 years ago, we actually went on a tour of the area. So I don't know if that's feasible because of COVID, but at least to get an update. Thank you.
Yeah, sure. I can comment just real quickly. The fire was not as expansive than the one 2 years ago, and that's fortunate. It did reach into the new open space in some of the upper portions, but not down by the Creekside Trail, fortunately. So we will be going up there in some capacity and doing some damage assessment in the coming probably sometime next week. We'll be reaching out to Barry Christian, getting his take on the situation. There is a Newell Trail Day that's planned in a couple of weeks, and that's still a go at this point for planting. So we feel things are not as bad as last time, but we haven't done a full assessment yet. So whether we make it as an agenda item or we may just send the commission itself updated information when we have it. So we may not wait until our next meeting to do that.
Very good. Okay. Commissioner Griggs, any comments or future items for consideration?
Not at this time. Thank you, Chair.
Great. Okay. Thank you. Okay. So I have a few things for my commissioner comments. Honestly, I think Monday, Monday, the Newell Open Space was on fire, and just big praise for the American Canyon Fire Department for containing it so quickly. They're wonderful, very experienced, and great first responders. There's a couple of events coming up. The American Canyon Community Food Drive, looks like sponsored by Kiwanis, is happening Saturday, November 13th at the Aquatic Center parking lot from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. The Beginner Pickleball Clinic is coming up November 6th, 2021. That's a Saturday. And there's a QR code to register, which is great. The Pumpkin Path is open. That was done by the American Canyon Arts Foundation. And pumpkins are still being added. It's a really fun, artsy, creative addition to the wetlands. And also, gosh, a reminder to keep your dogs leashed out there. Something happened. A very interesting altercation actually happened today. I saw a resident who took it upon herself to prompt two other folks at the wetlands to keep their dogs on the leash because they were bothering the wildlife. And they didn't listen to her. She started filming. And one of them actually got quite belligerent and tried to strike the phone out of her hand, which is technically an assault, which is technically a battery. So, and I'm not sure what, I'm not sure what our response is going to be, whether we need to think of signage out there, or whether, or whether we need to make a response at all. But there just seems to be a particular problem at the wetlands with dogs not being on their leash. And we know from past history that has caused some tragedy. So anyway, friendly reminder, keep your dogs on the leash out there. And that is it for me. No items for future consideration.
Okay. Well, thank you. Yeah, those are all really important comments, and we'll take a look at what the signage is out there. I know that the small signs say it, but we did end up putting larger signs around the whirlpool that's out there. So think about some other possibilities. So thank you for that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's all I had this evening. I don't know if there's anything else from the commission.
No, I do not think so. So may we have a motion to adjourn?
Yeah, I move that we adjourn at 7:08.
Thank you. May we have a second?
I'll second, but right before I do, please, if everyone has not already looked up the City of American Canyon Parks and Rec Facebook page, please like the page, please share it. There's a lot of great information on there for upcoming events and links to sign up for things such as the Newell Ridge Trail Day and planting project. So
Thank you. Excellent reminder. But we do have a second. So
I do second.
yes, thank you. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? No opposition. Motion passes. Our meeting is adjourned at 7:09 p.m. Go Giants.
Go Giants. Thank you all very much. Have a
Yeah.
great evening.
Thank
Good night, everyone.